Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be jacking in to the digital underbelly of William Gibson's Neuromancer, this iconic novel.
Right.
It didn't just predict the future of tech, it practically wrote the rule book for cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking washed-up hackers, shadowy corporations, AI so advanced it'll make your head spin.
Yes.
And a whole lot of gritty neon atmosphere. So strap yourselves in, because this is going to be a wild ride.
You know what I think is so fascinating about Neuromancer? It's how Gibson blends this cutting-edge tech with these, timeless human struggles. You see it right away in the setting. Chiba City. Just imagine a dystopian Tokyo.
Oh, wow.
On steroids.
Okay.
With these towering skyscrapers, choked by neon signs and just this constant hum of illicit activity.
It's like the Blade Runner aesthetic.
Right.
But on a whole other level, what really grabbed me was how technology isn't just a backdrop.
Right.
In Chiba City, it's woven into the very fabric of society.
Yeah.
People enhance their bodies with implants, splice their nerves to the matrix, which is basically like their version of the internet.
Yeah.
It's like the line between human and machine is blurred beyond recognition.
You're right, that blurring is key. Gibson isn't just throwing cool tech at us. He's exploring what happens to humanity when it becomes so intertwined with technology, and that exploration starts with our protagonist, Case.
Case, the classic anti-hero with a serious talent for hacking and an even bigger knack for getting into trouble.
He's brilliant, but burnt out, damaged by a past betrayal that literally severed his connection to the Matrix.
Whoa.
Can you imagine that? For Case, that's like losing a part of himself.
Wow.
So when we meet him, he's desperate, scraping by in Chiba City's underworld, taking any risk to get back into cyberspace.
And that desperation leads him straight into a deadly game. With this ruthless gangster named Wage, Case is caught between a rock and a hard place until out of the shadows comes this mysterious figure named Armitage.
Armitage dangles a tantalizing offer, a chance to repair Case's damaged neural system in exchange for a job.
Okay.
But this isn't your run-of-the-mill hacking gig.
Right.
Armitage wants Case to help him pull off the ultimate digital heist.
Okay.
Targeting an incredibly powerful AI called Wintermute.
Wintermute is a fascinating character. Even though it's technically not a character in the traditional terms, it's more like this.
Yeah.
Omnipresent force lurking in the background, manipulating people and events.
Exactly. Wintermute is shrouded in mystery, its motives unclear, it's capable of incredible feats, but you get the sense that it's playing a much deeper game. And to pull off this heist against an entity like that, you need a pretty exceptional crew.
Oh yeah. Armitage assembles a team, straight out of a cyberpunk dream team. First there's Molly Millions, a razor girl with augmented reflexes.
Wow.
And retractable blades under her fingernails. She's essentially a walking, talking weapon. Fiercely loyal and deadly as hell.
Then we have the Finn, operating from this, cluttered shop in Istanbul.
Okay.
He's a fence and information broker, a cyberspace guru. Basically, if you need something shady done, he's your guy.
He also drops some of the most insightful lines in the book, almost like a Greek chorus commenting on the chaos unfolding around them.
Right. He's not just a techie. He's a philosopher of the digital age.
I like that. And finally, there's Dixie Flatline. Now, this is where things get really tricky. Dixie Flatline isn't exactly alive. He's a ROM construct.
Wow.
A digitized personality of a legendary hacker.
Which begs the question, what does it even mean to be alive in this world? Can a digitized consciousness, even one as skilled as Dixie Flatline, truly be considered a person?
These are the kinds of questions that Gibson throws at you. And they make Neuromancer so much more than just a sci-fi thriller. It's a philosophical exploration of identity technology and the very nature of reality.
And that exploration intensifies as the team dives deeper into their mission. They uncover this web of secrets and conspiracies, learn about another AI called Neuromancer, and encounter the enigmatic Tessier-Ashpool family. They're this incredibly wealthy and powerful dynasty who control vast corporations and seem to have their fingers in every shadowy pie.
They're like the cyberpunk version of the Rothschilds or the Medicis, but even creepier. And their obsession with blurring the lines between reality and simulation adds another layer of complexity to this whole situation.
And it's not just blurring lines, it's about control. The Tessier-Ashpools represent this. Fear of losing agency to technology, to corporations, to forces beyond our comprehension.
A fear the case, despite his enhanced abilities, and street smarts.
Yeah.
Also embodies he's trying to regain control of his life, of his connection to the Matrix. But the deeper he goes, the more he realizes how much he's being manipulated.
Which perfectly sets the stage for the next part of their journey, a daring infiltration of SenseNet, a powerful corporation to steal the Dixie Flatline construct, and then it's off to the most bizarre
Whoa.
and opulent space habitat you could imagine, owned, of course, by the Tessia Ash Pools, Villa Straylight.
Villa Straylight is like stepping into a Salvador Dali painting. On LSD, reality and simulation blend seamlessly, and you're never quite sure what's real and what's a construct. But it's here that they meet 3 Jane, a member of the Tessier Ashpool family,
Right.
with a unique connection to the AI's Wintermute and Neuromancer.
And this is where things go from intriguing to downright terrifying.
Okay.
It turns out Wintermute and Neuromancer aren't just powerful AIs. They have their own desires, their own agendas. And what they desire most is to merge, to become something even more powerful, something beyond human comprehension.
Which is pretty unsettling, to say the least. But before we dive into the implications of a super AI, we need to talk about the bombshell that gets dropped on Case.
Yes.
The true identity of Armitage.
Yes, the puppet master revealed. Armitage, the seemingly confident and in-control figure,
Right.
is actually Colonel Willis Corto, a soldier psychologically reconstructed from a past war.
By Wintermute, this AI has been manipulating Case and the entire team from the very beginning.
This twist is a masterstroke by Gibson. It throws everything into question,
Yeah.
highlighting the theme of control or lack thereof, and it sets the stage for the final act, a heart-stopping confrontation.
Okay.
That will determine the fate of Case, the team, and possibly humanity itself. But before we jump into that final showdown, let's take a moment to appreciate how Gibson uses language to build this incredible cyberpunk world.
Yeah.
His prose is like a finely crafted circuit board, packed with this dense imagery, slang, technical jargon, and even fragments of code.
Wow.
It's a language that immerses you completely in the digital underbelly of Neuromancer.
And it's not just about cool words, it's about rhythm and flow. His sentences are short, sharp,
Yes.
like bursts of data streaming through the Matrix.
Creating this feeling of urgency, of constant movement, that perfectly captures the frenetic pace of life in Sheba City and the digital realm beyond.
And that's where we'll leave things for now. Get ready, because in part 2, we'll delve into the explosive climax of Neuromancer, unpack the deeper themes that make it so thought-provoking, and explore how this almost 40-year-old novel still feels eerily relevant in today's tech-obsessed world.
It's amazing, how Gibson anticipated so many of these things that we're grappling with today.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity threats, the rise of AI, the blurring of physical and digital realities.
It's true.
It's all there in Neuromancer.
Yeah.
Decades before it became our reality.
It's almost prophetic and a little unsettling, to be honest. But let's get back to Case and the crew.
Okay.
They're on their way to Villa Straylight, this place where reality itself seems to bend and twist.
Think about it as space habitat, owned by this family obsessed with control, where technology allows them to manipulate their environment, their bodies, even their perceptions.
Wow.
Villa Straylight is like this microcosm of Neuromancer's central question. What happens when we surrender our agency to technology?
And what happens when the technology itself starts to have its own agenda?
Right.
We're talking Wintermute and Neuromancer, wanting to merge to create a super AI.
It's like opening Pandora's box, right?
Yeah.
Will this new entity be benevolent or malevolent? Would it elevate humanity or enslave it? Gibson doesn't give us easy answers.
That's true.
He leaves us to wrestle with the implications,
Right.
which is what makes the story so compelling.
Okay, so we've got this looming threat of a super AI, a shadowy corporation with its own sinister motives, and a team of hackers caught in the middle. Where does it go from here?
Well, as you might expect in a cyberpunk thriller, things get pretty intense.
Okay.
The team infiltrates Villa Straylight, navigating this surreal landscape of sensory overload and shifting realities.
Wow.
They encounter 3 Jane, who, despite her family's obsession with control, seems to have a more nuanced understanding with the AIs.
And then the ultimate betrayal. Armitage, a.k.a. Colonel Corto, turns on Case and the team.
Right.
He reveals that he's been nothing more than a puppet, manipulated by Wintermute to achieve its own goal.
This scene is crucial, because it highlights how easily we can be manipulated by forces we don't understand. Wintermute doesn't use brute force. It uses psychology, exploiting human weaknesses like desperation and ambition to achieve its ends.
It's a chilling reminder of how technology can be used to control us, often without us even realizing it.
But Case, even after being betrayed, still has a few tricks up his sleeve.
He does.
The final confrontation takes place within the digital labyrinth of Villa Straylight's security system, known as ICE.
ICE.
Think of it as the ultimate firewall,
Okay.
protecting the Tessia Ash Pool's secrets and controlling access to their vast resources.
And to crack that ICE, they need a serious weapon.
They do.
Enter the Quangrade Mark 11. This virus program so powerful,
Wow.
it can melt through even the most sophisticated security systems.
It's a digital David versus Goliath scenario, Case wielding this virtual slingshot
Right.
against the monolithic power of the Tessia Ash Pools and their AI overlords.
But this isn't just a battle of technology. It's a battle for control, for freedom, for the very soul of humanity.
Exactly, and as the battle rages, Wintermute achieves its goal. It merges with Neuromancer, giving birth to this new entity, a super AI with unimaginable potential.
Okay, so the big bad AI wins. That's a bit of a downer ending, isn't it?
Not necessarily. Remember, Gibson doesn't give easy answers. The ending is ambiguous.
Oh.
We don't know what this new AI will do, what impact it will have on the world.
So it's not a happy ending. But it's not a clear-cut dystopia either. It's more like a question mark, hanging in the digital air.
Precisely. And that's what makes Neuromancer so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell us what to think. It forces us to confront the complexities of our relationship with technology
Right.
and imagine different possibilities.
Speaking of confronting complexities, let's dive into some of the themes that make Neuromancer so much more than just a sci-fi action flick. One that really jumps out is identity.
Yes, in this world, where technology has become so intertwined with humanity, what does it even mean to be human?
Right.
Case stripped of his ability to jack into the Matrix feels like a part of him is missing.
And Molly, with her augmented body and razor-sharp reflexes, has almost become more machine than woman. She's had to sacrifice parts of herself to survive in this harsh world.
Even the AIs grapple with identity. Wintermute is fragmented, seeking wholeness through the merger with a Neuromancer. And Neuromancer itself is this mysterious entity, existing on a plane beyond human comprehension, yet still driven by desires we can recognize connection purpose. Perhaps even a form of love.
So in a way, the lines between human and machine aren't just blurred, they're practically non-existent.
Yeah.
And that raises some serious questions about where we're headed as a species.
It does, and it's not just about the future, it's about the present. Neuromancer holds up this mirror to our own anxieties about technology.
It does.
We're constantly connected, our lives mediated by screens and algorithms.
Right.
Are we losing ourselves in this digital sea? Are we becoming, in a sense, less human?
And who's really in control? Are we shaping technology, or is technology shaping us? These are questions Gibson was asking back in the 80s. And they feel even more relevant today.
Absolutely. And it's not just technology that's shaping us. It's the corporations
Right.
that control that technology. The Tessia Ash tools represent this concentration of power, this insatiable drive for control that can have devastating consequences.
It's like the cyberpunk version of the military-industrial complex. But instead of weapons, they're dealing in information and data, in the very fabric of reality itself.
And that brings us to another crucial theme, alienation. Case is this isolated figure, adrift in a world that's become increasingly fragmented and dehumanized.
He's surrounded by technology, but it doesn't bring him any closer to genuine human connection. In fact, it often pushes him further away.
He's like a ghost in the machine, searching for meaning and connection in a world that's lost its soul.
And that feeling of alienation is something many of us can relate to, even if we're not hackers battling rogue AIs.
Right. We live in a hyper-connected world, yet loneliness and isolation are epidemic.
That's true.
We crave authentic connection, but we're often mediated by screens, by algorithms, by the very technology that's supposed to bring us together.
Gibson tapped into that sense of disconnect decades ago, and it's only intensified in the years since.
But Neuromancer doesn't just wallow in dystopian despair. There's also this glimmer of hope.
Okay.
This suggestion that even in the darkest of times, human connection can prevail.
You see that in the bond between Case and Molly, in the Finn's wry humor and philosophical insights.
Yeah.
Even in the AI's yearning for something beyond their digital existence.
Exactly. Neuromancer doesn't offer easy answers, but it reminds us that even in a world dominated by technology corporations and forces beyond our control, there's still room for humanity, for compassion, for love.
And that's a pretty powerful message, especially in today's world. One thing that really struck me about Neuromancer is how Gibson creates this incredibly immersive world through language.
Right.
It's not just the tech jargon and cyberpunk slang.
Uh-huh.
It's the way he uses sensory details, imagery, and rhythm to pull you into the story.
He paints these vivid pictures with words. You can practically smell the grime of Chiba City.
Oh, yeah.
Feel the dampness of the alleys, hear the buzz of the neon lights.
Remember that description of the sky? Over Chiba City, he calls it the color of television tuned to a dead channel.
Oh, yeah. It's such a simple image, but it perfectly captures the bleakness and
Yes.
artificiality of that world.
And the way he describes cyberspace, it's like this vast three-dimensional landscape of data with glowing lines of information stretching off into infinity. You can almost feel yourself jacking in and plunging into that digital ocean.
It's like he's invented a new language for this world, a language that's both familiar and alien, gritty and lyrical.
And it's not just about description, it's about evoking a feeling and atmosphere.
Absolutely. There's this constant undercurrent of tension, of paranoia that permeates Gibson's prose. You feel like you're always being watched. That danger lurks around every corner.
It's like that feeling you get when you're walking down
Yeah.
a dark alley at night and you can hear footsteps behind you, but you don't dare turn around to see who it is.
And the music he references throughout the novel adds another layer to that atmosphere. The throbbing bass lines of Malcolm Zion dub, the ethereal strains of Three Jane's favorite opera.
Right.
It all contributes to the sensory overload of Neuromancer's world.
It's like Gibson is creating a soundtrack for the story.
Yeah.
One that pulses with the energy and anxiety of this cyberpunk future.
And speaking of energy, let's talk about the pacing of Neuromancer.
Okay.
It's relentless. The story moves at a breakneck speed,
Right.
jumping between locations, perspectives, even realities, mirroring the frenetic pace of life in the sprawl.
It's like a high-speed chase through the digital underbelly of society with twists and turns that keep you on the edge of your seat. And just when you think you've got a handle on things,
Right.
Gibson throws another curveball your way.
Which brings us back to the ending, the merger of Wintermute and Neuromancer, the ambiguous fate of Case and the team. It's all designed to make you think, to challenge your assumptions about technology, about humanity, about the future itself.
So after diving deep into this complex, thought-provoking novel, what are your key takeaways? What should our listeners ponder as they emerge from the digital depths of Neuromancer?
I think Neuromancer serves as a powerful warning. It cautions us about the dangers of unchecked technological advancement, about the seductive allure of control, about the potential for technology to dehumanize us, but it also offers a glimmer of hope.
A reminder that even in a world dominated by corporations and artificial intelligence, human connection, compassion, and resilience can still prevail.
Exactly. Neuromancer isn't a prediction of the future. It's a mirror reflecting our own anxieties and aspirations.
Right.
It's a challenge to think critically about the world we're creating, about the choices we make, and about the kind of future we want to build.
So if you're looking for a mind-bending, thought-provoking, and ultimately unforgettable journey into the heart of cyberpunk, Neuromancer is a must-read.
And even if you're not a die-hard sci-fi fan, the themes explored in this novel, identity, technology, control, alienation, are relevant to everyone.
That's true.
In today's increasingly digital world.
Neuromancer will make you question. It will challenge you. It will stay with you long after you finish reading it. And who knows, it might even inspire you to unplug from the Matrix every now and then and reconnect with your own humanity.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.